excited to bring this fertility journey story with you all. We help so many women with fertility. So many women have all types of fertility challenges, and so this is one of the things we were able to help and have a success story with. And I'm so excited that you're here, Ceci, with us. I'm so excited that you took the time to chat with us because I am super curious about your journey. I know when we were talking, a lot of DMs and quick questions here and there, but I don't really get to have a full conversation with many of the women that we help. And so that's why we started this channel, not only to get to know you, hear your story, but at the same time, help other women as well that may be going through the same challenges as you. So it's so important for us to show up online, especially us Latinas, helping other Latinas. And we know the remedios that we use in our culture, but sometimes they don't always work. And so we go with what the tia said, what the grandma said, but sometimes we just need to venture out into our own thing and kind of find out other things that may work for us. And so that's why we're here. And for the audience out there, you've never seen me before. My name is Nancy. I am the owner of the Chi-est Beauty, where we help women restore balance with natural medicine, natural remedies. And we're super passionate about this. And so, Ceci, you have the mic. Please share your story with us. I'm super curious.
Hi, Nancy. Well, thank you for your product. I am officially, just back it up a little bit. I know it's 7 months, so 28 weeks, 29 weeks, maybe 30 weeks. I don't know. Time has flown. It's a blur, but it's a huge blessing that we get to have this journey. My partner and I really dreamed of growing our family. Sorry, I'm hormonal too. So
No,
it's
it's
just
okay. I have the tissue box ready too. I hope you have your tissue box.
I don't. I'm never ready. I'm never ready, but I know what to expect every day, yet I'm not ready.
Yes.
So I had my first baby in 2013. So that was almost 12 years ago, right? And she is big in middle school, thriving, couldn't have been blessed, for a better, first daughter, right? Um but after that, I did have an ectopic a few years ago. I did have an ectopic pregnancy. And that just flipped my whole world upside down, to experience something like that. And, blessed that not a lot of women can say this, but I'm very in tune with my body. I understand when something's wrong. Um, and that saved my life. Um, Literally saved my life, saying and letting my doctor know like something's wrong, completely wrong. Um, and, you know, after that, um, I didn't think, having a child would be possible. The doctor did say that, sorry, it's emotional. And again,
No,
I'm
it's okay.
hormonal.
It's perfectly fine. It's okay. We
Um,
understand. And it's important to share this because there's other women going through the same thing and they don't know how it impacts a woman emotionally, spiritually. And so it's important to talk about these things.
yeah, absolutely. I had never experienced a miscarriage, and just experiencing an ectopic pregnancy.
Mhm.
Um, my fallopian tube actually ruptured, and they weren't sure. They thought, okay, it's a miscarriage, so it's going through your body. You might not need medicine just yet. Thankfully, we live in a state where these options are available, which is a
Mhm.
whole different,
Mhm.
topic. But, thankfully, I had those options. And thankfully, I had access to healthcare, um, that made it possible to say, as soon as I'm pretty sure I did faint from like the pain. And, you know, asked my sister to take me to the hospital, they're like, if this is what you think it is, we're going to trust you. And again,
Mhm.
it was a doctor that said, we're going to trust your gut instinct and conduct this procedure. And lo and behold, even though it was a same day procedure, they did. They were able to, clean that up in time because it did rupture. Um,
And they
so,
didn't know that. You had to tell them something's. What gave you the clues that there was something wrong? Like, did you see bleeding? Did you feel pressure, discomfort, cramps?
oh yeah. So for work, I did a lot of traveling back
Okay.
then, and on my work trips, like for weeks, I think for maybe like, yeah, for weeks, I had been bleeding. I bled 1 week, the second week, a third week, and cramps were just very and more intense than usual.
Okay.
And I did go into my doctor's office, and she did see that my hormone levels were a little elevated. And but she's like, you know what? She's like, but something, gotta read. You said you said you missed it when and how long you've been
Mm-hmm.
bleeding. She's like,
Mm-hmm.
something's not matching up. These levels should probably higher. We're wondering if you're having a miscarriage. So they didn't know exactly, even using like, the ultrasound, trying to
Mm-hmm.
locate it. We don't
Mm-hmm.
have really good visibility of our fallopian tubes. Um, and so I kind of had to wait it out until something happened because in their eyes, it looked like it was a miscarriage, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was something that I felt that emotionally, I'm like, all right, well, I'm gonna, get through this. I have a daughter that depends on me, and I have work that has to get done. I kind of put on my brave and mom's got to do what a mom's got to do kind of attitude. And throughout my trips, and it was really busy that those couple weeks at work, so I just found myself just bleeding in every single airport throughout the US. It was
Wow.
very intense. And when I finally caught up again and called my doctor, she's like, all right, well, make sure you come in, and then the levels weren't rising. She's like, yeah, she's like, but she's like, this cramping, this pain, like, she's like,
Mm-hmm.
that's not normal. Um, and then I think a few days later, that's when um I just wasn't feeling well, and I just had the sharpest pain of my life. Um, and of course, I'm a very busy person, so
Yeah.
I don't have, I'm not sitting and just waiting like, ooh, ow, like no.
Yeah.
It's like, man, like I am uncomfortable. Um, and I'm pretty sure like I passed out from the pain because I don't take naps. Even like now
Yeah.
I should be taking naps, but it's very hard for me to take naps. Um, and yeah, I had, my sister, drive me to the hospital. The on-call doctor that was part of that practice, she's like, we're gonna go with your gut instinct. If this is what you think it is, we're gonna go with it. And again, I'm so glad that I have the ability to choose my provider, and I have the ability to have these options. um and yeah, they couldn't have, as far as I remember, they couldn't have detected it because they couldn't find it. They couldn't locate my fallopian tubes. So unless they did some type of like discovery procedure, you know, so
Wow, that is amazing that you were able to express that to your doctor and your doctor listened to you.
yeah.
I hear so many horror stories of women saying, I talked to my doctor and all they're doing is prescribing some pill or prescribing something. I know something's wrong and they're not listening to me. If it's possible, you're here in Illinois. If you don't mind, I love to share information of doctors that you feel comfortable with, because there may be a woman here in Illinois that can go see your doctor, who can get great service, because it is really hard to find a doctor that's actually going to listen. And it's totally up to you. You don't have to give me that information, but I'd love to
Mhm.
share it with other people too.
Yeah, no, this time back then was with it was with the Northwestern Women's Practice. They're
Okay.
they're located at 680 uh North Lakeshore Drive, I think.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So they're in that building. They're completely
Okay,
separate from the hospital.
okay.
Because I have gone to the hospital OB-GYN and I did not like it. Very different.
Yes.
Interestingly enough, they're more supportive. I went to Dr. Belmonte, but it was another doctor that was on call. I forget her
Okay,
name, but
okay.
she listened to me and I was just like, thank you for listening to me. I saw her again for my follow-up and I was just very grateful and thankful. And again, in Illinois, thankfully we have those options for women. But a little bit south of us, you know,
Exactly. In rural areas, they don't have great doctors. And then there's also, and this happens in our culture too, where people opt out of having health insurance to save money because they're living paycheck to paycheck, and it's really hard to have that extra, at least they see it, unnecessary extra expense.
mhm,
Thankfully, we at least have that option, and we can
mhm,
at least get the providers that we can choose from. If we don't like someone, we can go a different route, get recommendations, and go somewhere else. But
mhm,
yeah, it is really important to find a good doctor, and we do live in a great state that does have amazing doctors here.
mhm. And I do like, you know, prior to that experience, I did have an IUD in for a long time. And in my head, I'm
Mhm.
thinking I'm building cobwebs. I'm like, is that why it happened? I still don't know why it happened, right? Why does the body go through certain things and why doesn't, the person next to me go through the same things? Or,
Mhm.
why me? Why not them? Or why them
Mhm.
and why not me? Um, and I after that experience, and after meeting my fiance, my fingers are a little swollen, so rings right here. um After that, we had a hard time. I'm very we're very open with one another. Sorry, you hear my dogs growling in the background. I have the window slightly open. And we one of our biggest strengths is communication and transparency, and just him knowing what my journey was and knowing, like, well, how can we get you to where you want to be, where we want to be. um was when our friend, she knew we were like, okay, well, we want to have kids but we're scared that this is going to
Mhm.
happen again. And I've got one
Mhm.
fallopian tube, even though doctors do say somehow it still finds its way to the ovary. The sperm finds its way. And I'm like, well, how, like, but the body's magical. The body makes, miracles happen. But I was worried that, if there were going to be any type of obstructions in my other,
Mhm.
fallopian tube, that would cause the egg to just stay stuck there and rupture again, and then
Mhm.
it'd be an even more dangerous procedure, or we'd have to go through IVF, which luckily it's an option. And
Mhm.
um, we are in a state where they do allow IVF and they don't consider that a heinous crime.
Mhm.
Um, uh, and so then my friend uh, recommended your teas, and I was pretty consistent with the teas. I did try some other remedios on the side.
Mhm.
Families recommended, go here to the sobandera, she's family friend, and Sobala, place everything where it needs to be placed. I'm like, but family doesn't know my history, even my
Yeah.
close family. So this me coming out and talking with you and your followers, like, not my entire family. So if they ever do see this, it was just so personal. I just couldn't talk about it. And it's been years, but I can talk about it a little bit better now. Um it's so emotional, so personal, and so political too, surprisingly, right? How something so personal can be so political right now, and how something impacts me on a personal level. Um, my faith does not get in the way of my healthcare choices and my healthcare rights, you
Mhm.
know. And I do consider myself a person of faith, and but yeah, so we decided to go ahead and try your teas. And I was pretty consistent with it for close to a year. And I felt, even though I was on an IUD, I felt, I felt my body just cleaning out, because my periods were typically maybe 3 days spotting, maybe.
Yeah.
But with the teas, it came like I was a teenager again. I'm like, whoa,
I
yeah,
know, isn't it beautiful? I always
yeah.
describe, and I'm PCOS, so that's how this whole T thing became. I've been PCOS since I was in my 20s, and I basically messed up my own hormones by being on birth control on and off. And so that really screwed me up, that then it developed into PCOS. And so I've been PCOS since I was in my 20s, and I'm in my 40s now. And every time I see my menstrual cycle, when I stop drinking the tea for a while, even for myself, it's just brown. It doesn't look like a full cycle. And as soon as I start drinking the tea again, then it's bright red. It's so healthy. Like, you can just tell the difference of how vibrant it is. And I always describe it as Taylor Swift's red lipstick. That's how your cycle looks. And I was like, I that means that we're healthy and we're doing what we need to be doing. So I'm glad you saw that. Like, you're in back in high school.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And I could tell, like, there was a change in my body with the teas. I miss drinking it. I know I can't drink it right now. I messaged you right away. I'm like, I think I'm pregnant. Can I start, can I keep drinking it? You're like, no. Body is very delicate, which is a very true thing, right? It's so strong yet can be so delicate at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I did that, and then yeah, it was just like bam. I joke about it. I'll just be very forward with
Yeah.
everyone who's wondering, like, oh well, how long did it take you to get pregnant? After taking it for, drinking the tea for a series of months. So we decided on a date to go and have my IUD removed. And I do use a hormonal one. And I did use a hormonal one. So, we had a test run, he
Mhm.
and I, because we knew it was just, from what I hear, from what I've researched, when you're going through the process of achieving conception, and, it can be a little stressful. It could feel like work, right? Sex
Yep.
doesn't feel fun anymore.
Mhm.
So we're like, yeah, we'll just do a test run right now. This is how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Exactly. And this is how much fun we're going to have. And, we did that a few days before my um, IUD removal appointment. And uh, so that was at the end of January. Um, and based on, like, I guess, how the doctor calculates, like, okay, based on the fetal growth and,
Mhm.
missed periods, it was within days of, I guess, his marching military men were just waiting for me. We're just waiting for the gates to be open. They were like at, a Taylor Swift concert. They were just waiting for the doors to
Yeah,
open.
it really
Yeah.
was.
And it
That's
happened right away. Yeah.
that's
And the
amazing. So you had your IUD removed, and then
Mhm.
you were taking the tea prior to having it removed, which,
Yes.
and that's so smart. That is because a woman sometimes, well, some of our customers that we talk to, they want to get pregnant right away, and I'm so glad you planned it out. You were very cautious about what you were doing at that time to make sure that your body was ready. And I'm so glad that you're mentioning how you know your body, you're in tune with your body, because it is so important for us to do that. So many people just are so disconnected with themselves, with their thoughts, with their surroundings, that they don't trust their guts. A lot of that has been lost. So I'm really glad that you talked about that, because that is so important. To listen to your body is so important, especially when you feel like this doesn't feel right. These pains don't feel right. But I'm glad you were drinking the tea, you got it removed, your birth control, and then you got pregnant right away. That, like
Yeah.
you said, it was just a perfect timing. It was the right time.
Yeah, yeah. We couldn't. We were very like we're very hesitant to share the news until we knew it was completely viable, and that we passed the 15 weeks. You know how I told him, like, I know we want to share. I know this, but yeah, when, Mother's Day, we told our families, and they were completely like surprised. Our Flipped our parents' world upside down. They're so excited for us. And yeah, I just I wish there was like I'm drinking raspberry tea that I get from Target, but I'm like, I wish I could drink, other teas, uh to continue to support, the pregnancy. Maybe extend the line. I don't
You
know.
know,
Product
I
like
don't, it's just such a delicate
yeah.
state, and I'm working with women that are, have gone through a journey and a process that I'm thinking about myself and my body too. When I was pregnant with my kids, I have a 14-year-old and a 12-year-old. And so I was very picky about what I was consuming. Everything had to be organic. Prenatal vitamins had to be like the most expensive. Not that it means that it's the best, but I was like high end everything, right? And so I'm very careful what I recommend, because I know how delicate that state is. And so I always say, take your prenatal vitamins for sure. But one thing that I do want to mention, and I want to take advantage of this time in speaking with you, always have a postpartum recovery plan. That is so important. And I say in our culture, in Latino culture, there's always like hay reposo. There's, after giving birth, you have to rest as much as you can. Try not to go outside. Try not to lift heavy. There is truth to that, and okay, the newer generations make fun of that, saying, "Oh, those are old tales." That, no, there is truth to that, because later on your uterus can drop, and because you've done so much through your time, those muscles get weak as you get older, and so you have to make sure that those muscles are strong. So part of the recovery plan is always making sure that you do your pelvic floor muscle exercises. Those are really important. But also, when you deliver, drink the tea, drink a cleanser, because you want to flush all of that out. I've heard stories that not everything comes out. So that's why I recommend the tea as your part of your postpartum recovery plan, because you want to make sure everything is, you're supporting your body to let go of everything, and then you're healing your uterus of what it went through. And so it's recovering, it's healing, and then you can continue drinking the tea, but of course be with caution, because you are the most fertile after giving birth too, because now your body's like, we can do this again. And so it's got to be with caution, because you are going to be fertile. The tea's only going to support all that fertility, and so anything can happen after that. But yes, a recovery plan is so important.
Yeah. Um, I'm working on that. I'm working on that. But yeah, so you do recommend taking your tea, the menstrual, what's the official name of it?
It's super womb tea.
Super
Yes. Oh, you're cutting
um
off.
oh, you do recommend the super womb tea postpartum. Like as soon as that
Absolutely.
baby's out, I can drink it.
Yes. That's exactly what I did. This tea has been in our family for a really long time, generations prior to me. And so after giving birth, my mother-in-law is the one who took care of me after giving birth. And she would always make her remedios, her teas, and she made sure that everything was flushed out. I attribute a lot of my my own health journey to her, because she grew up with herbalists, and so she's taught me a lot. And yes, I get like sad. I get surprised of how much that has been lost in our own culture, because that's always been part of our process. Reposo, you gotta rest and you gotta drink your teas to flush everything out to support your body. And women are quick to go back to work. Women are quick to be moving furniture when you shouldn't be doing any of that. And quick to just go outside and you just rest, be with your baby, bond, and nurse if you can nurse, and flush and cleanse your body, and take it easy, because there's always going to be next month that you can handle those things, and move around and go outside and take the baby outside. You don't have to do it so fast and move so quickly. I think it's such a great time just to rest.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I think I froze up a little bit, but I did hear you. Your voice did go through. Yeah, no,
good.
absolutely. What do we call it? La cuarentena. And
Yes,
making sure we're covered head to toe. And I'm a
yes,
big believer on that, because my daughter was born right around probably close to when you gave birth to your last baby. And especially in the winter, right? Like they
yes,
say your bones open up,
yes. Everything is open. Yes,
like from your feet, they have to have on, everything. Yes. Oh no, I'm talking to my partner about, this
yes,
is, we can't go out only to go to the doctor.
yes,
I have to be wrapped up head to toe, my
yes,
fuzzy robe, my fuzzy socks,
yes,
pants, uh,
yes.
covered up. And pelvic floor exercises. Yeah, no, prolapse happens. And it's also something that, our you know the women in our families, especially like our culture, they don't like to talk about, because it's something that feels very embarrassing. It's
Yes,
not embarrassing,
yes.
feels embarrassing. um and it's just something, so again, so personal, that happens,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
And options are repair your vagina or sew it back up.
Mhm.
And if it's like most of our moms who do, we don't have a lot of strong men in the picture, they're like, well, yeah, sew it up, I'm done. And it's just a feeling that just, it's a very overwhelming feeling. And yeah, I didn't realize the how important those pelvic exercises are. I love my Peloton app, and I love the Robin Arzon um prenatal classes. I'm not getting paid to promote them, but she talks a lot about pelvic. She's like, this isn't just for pregnant women, this is just for women in general. Like,
Yes,
you need to
yes,
work on your pelvic floor, because it's kind of decides how everything else goes.
yes. And I'm in the field where I can talk to women about things that normally we don't talk about. So it gives me the opportunity to learn a lot about older women and what they're going through. So yes, I do hear those horror stories of the pelvic dropping, and how can they restore it? Can you do it naturally? And there is no tea for that, because I've been asked if there's a tea for that. And it's really about doing those exercises. And once it drops, it's a lot harder to have it go back into place, where there needs to be a procedure done by your doctor in order to do that. But yeah, it's so important. I always try to tell women who are young to take care of your uterus now before you reach an older age, because then it's a lot harder to do what you want to do then. It's gonna be more challenging, and you're gonna have to probably do a medical procedure, something that you didn't think you were gonna be able to do. I liked how you shared that que fuiste sauna, you went to the remedy lady, the people in our culture who were the curanderas.
Yes.
Because I do talk to a lot of women who say, I went to my so and so, they referred me, and I went to the curandera. They were shaking my leg, they moved my pelvic to try to see if anything would happen. She's like, that didn't work. And so, what was the procedure? What did they do to you?
So, and I mean, I don't know if it did work or not. And I did get some pills, but I didn't take them consistently, you
Okay.
know. Um, she said she made some adjustments like in my lower pelvic side, but one
Okay.
side always hurts than the other. So I'm not sure
Yeah.
if that's like scarring, because I did have my daughter via C-section, and
Okay.
I have no idea which fallopian tube is missing. And I now, like, it's just like
Yes.
scar.
Yes.
The thing is that they've healed very well, but internally, you still build up that scar tissue. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that was something that I was also worried about, that I honestly think like this tea kind of just like flushed everything as much as it could. Um,
Yes.
I took prenatals, I think 2 years before we started
Mhm.
trying. As soon
Okay.
as we were talking, we're like, okay, well, this is what we want to do. And I'm like, all right. Last time I was in my 20s, I had no idea what I needed to take. You know, but I'm like, okay, well, might as well start taking prenatals, and for 2 years. So I've been on prenatals, and I'm like, I'm gonna still continue to take them because, postpartum is really hard on the body. Sorry,
Yeah.
my dogs are squeaking
No,
their
that's okay.
toys. Um, but yeah, so she massaged me, and I do remember, like, it's still like, even to like right now with the pregnancy,
Yeah.
like that side's a little bit more tender than the other side.
Uh,
And it's always just been there. But she
yeah.
did an osobada, and
Yes.
she also said, she's like, yeah, she's like, you should be fine. I don't know if I disclosed. Yeah, I did disclose to her, but I did tell her, like, family doesn't know I've had an
Yes.
ectopic. So you gotta keep it between us. Um, and yeah, so I did that, and and your teas. Yeah. That, but I only did that once, and that was maybe like before I started taking consistently your teas. But
That's
yeah,
great.
I truly think like your teas, like, made this miracle baby happen. They cleaned up my cobwebs.
Yes, yes, and it truly is a miracle, baby. One fallopian tube. It happened right away. But I have to say, you did some work before you decided to do the get pregnant, which was drink the tea. You took your prenatals. You saw curandera for that one time. So hey, maybe she did put something into place, and maybe she did open up, that one tube. So that's amazing. And did you only drink our super womb tea? I think you bought a couple of them.
Yeah, I bought a couple of them. I think I started with like the smaller batches, and then I
Mhm.
ended up getting the big one because I'm like, okay, you know, I don't know when we're gonna decide to just go for it. Um, so I might as well just, like, keep it for the journey.
Yeah,
But I did ended up giving it to someone close to me. And hopefully that they're finding the tea good, because I'm like, okay, well, I can't drink it for a bit. Might
yeah,
as well try it. Can't hurt. Um, but I do, with everything, with flu season coming up,
yes.
I do. I'm not sure if you still have it. I think I looked for it at one point and it wasn't there. Maybe it was sold out.
Uh-huh.
Your immunity tea?
Yes, I'll send you the link to it. Yes,
Okay.
we still have the health immunity tea. That one is super amazing too. And then the super womb tea, those will boost up your immune system, protect you. You can even take the health immunity tea as part of your postpartum recovery too, just for overall, so you don't get sick and you protect your body, because you're gonna be giving so much to the baby. So you want to stay as healthy as possible. So yeah, we still have it, and I'll send it to you. Um, but that's exciting. So, okay, so you just took super womb tea and you bought different ones, and now you shared it with a friend, which is interesting because a lot of our teas, that's always the story. It's like, I tell somebody, or, I've told someone that that's close to me, my cousin, my sister, they have to try this tea. They haven't bought it yet. So I'm just going to give them my batch and I'm going to get some more. And so that's how it starts to loop in. That's how we get a lot of our customers, honestly, is through referrals.
Yeah, I also did gift my neighbor who recently had surgery. I forget, I think she has fibroids. And
Okay.
so, and I also gave her, I'm like, I ordered one of your sample packs. You ship them out so quickly.
We really
I think
tried.
that's the only thing on Etsy that like ships out so quickly.
It's true. We have
Yeah.
we work, oh, it almost feels like 24 hours. We constantly are working to fulfill orders, and so we always have big batches already pre-made. So we already know when we're gonna sell out because everything's already pre-packed. And so when orders are coming in, we're filling them up, and the next day they go out on, because we know how much people are dependent of that tea. They're either, trying to get pregnant, or they're trying to heal their body from cysts, fibroids, polyps, and so it needs to be in their system on a regular basis, just like a medicine. It basically is a medicine. And so if they don't have their medicine, their body can stop making the progression that it is, the healing. You can stop the healing process. And so we know how important it is. So we're on it. As soon as I have my orders packed and everything, the hubby drops them off and he makes sure that everything's en route. But yeah, it's definitely a team effort behind the scenes. The kids are packing, I'm packing, the husband is delivering. So yeah, I tell him he's the shipping and receiving manager.
Well, yeah, no, I always know that when I place my tea order that it's gonna come so quickly, like, okay, yeah, like, oh, but I skipped 2 days, like it's nothing. Like
Yes, yes.
I'm like, oh my gosh, she sends these out in her sleep.
It feels like,
Yeah.
trust me, I'm probably dreaming of packing orders with my eyes closed.
No, but yeah, no, I do attribute this pregnancy to the teas that that you sell because they told me they like doctors did prepare me. We did go to do two different doctors, my previous one and then the current one because we moved. And so
Yeah,
my first doctor is just too far. Um, and they both kind of prepared me that it would be a journey based on the statistics of
mm-hmm.
my history, right? um but I that's why I'm like, you know what, it's not I didn't get lucky. I didn't get lucky. It's yeah, it's on some of the work that I've done, but also the teas, the teas and teas and the work that I've done kind of like complemented each other
Yeah.
very well and just made it
Mhm,
happen. And
mhm.
we're just so excited. And again, for months, it took me a while to say, hey, Nancy, like, yeah, let me share my story, because it took a while for me to really believe, like, wow, like this is happening. And these past couple of months have flown by so fast. So
It really has. Yes.
yeah, so fast that I haven't even like, I mean, we're organizing a baby shower because we're like, oh my God, it's been almost 12 years since my last baby shower. Um, but I'm like, we're gonna get there before the baby.
Oh, it's so precious. When is your due date? If
No,
you don't have to share if you don't want to.
no, it's okay. I mean, and from what I'm reading, women can be as pregnant as 42 weeks, right? Deliver as
Hmm.
safely as 42 weeks. And they can deliver as early and
Hmm.
safely as 37 weeks. So it's gonna be before, after. I don't care what people say. It's,
Yeah.
whenever the baby's ready. But November 2nd.
Oh,
So
really?
yes, so this is a Scorpio
Wow.
baby.
Oh my gosh. My birthday's November 7th. Look at that.
Oh,
We're gonna go for 7th, November 7th. I'm gonna
I
be
was just
texting
telling
you
my
every day.
partner. Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
telling my partner. I'm like, there's something about November 7th. I'm like, something about November 7th. I'm like, something, something, something. And he's like, okay. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, maybe the baby will come on November 7th.
All
Um,
right. We're gonna manifest it. The husband and me, November 7th, baby.
Oh, yeah. No, we're so excited. But yes, I do need to order the immunity tea because my daughter is back in school, and even
Okay, yeah,
though it's middle school now, so it's not grade school, so she's not all over her friends on recess because there is no recess. It's
yeah.
periods 1 through 7 at her cross country. So whatever goes on in school, she brings it home. So
Yes.
I'm trying to prevent any of that, trying to make sure I don't get sick because our immune system takes a hit, right? We're kind of like a little bit out of commission, but not really.
Hmm. Hmm.
So the teas are gonna help me out, and I love teas. So
That's good. And I'm glad you do love teas. And superwoom tea, how did you find the taste? How would you describe the taste?
it was really smooth from what I remember. It wasn't bitter,
Yeah.
wasn't tangy. It was just very smooth, very
Hmm.
relaxing.
Hmm.
Every time I made a batch, it just kind of brought me to a zen space, that I just, you know, I'm like, okay, well, no one can like ruin my day. This is my tea, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the tea, and I'm the same way. I drink it all the time too. Not I don't drink it every day because I don't have to because it's already running through my system, and I've been drinking it for such a long time. But it's such a relaxing tea. And I tell women like, don't expect it to be bitter, to be strong, because we always think medicine's gonna taste awful. If you're not a tea person, it's oh, who likes tea? You know, they have that attitude. But I was like, it's such a flexible tea. It really just is smooth, and it's such a great introduction to people who don't like tea because it's just such a smooth. And we were so intentional about that, just because I know women want to heal their body naturally. A lot of women don't like tea, don't want to drink tea, but they want to have that option. And women who don't drink tea, they're always like, "Oh my God, I became a tea lover because of this tea." And that's what we want to hear. I'm like, "That's exciting. We have a new person that loves tea."
Yeah, and on top of that, I'm gonna close the door now because everyone's just coming home already. But I did, the tea was also a faster way to get what I wanted.
Yes.
And on top of that, I mean, higher benefits because it was a natural way to achieve that. I spoke about how there are some procedures for women who want to just, it's a procedure where the doctor can see like how, open and how viable, the rest of your organs are. So they flush
Yes.
a liquid through your like fallopian tubes to see like are there any
Mhm.
blockages. But in doing that, it kind of clears out your cobwebs. That's what I wanted. But there's, even though yes, there's access to all this healthcare, there's still like
Mhm.
red line, kind of like
Mhm.
there's still tape around that where you just
Mhm.
can't get that procedure. You have to build up to that. You have to have a certain
Yeah.
number of visits, a certain number of concerns, to go to that, to get to that point. So for me, like this tea was just like cutting through all that red tape and doing it in a way where you mail it out overnight and it's at my house by the end of the week, if not sooner. So
Yeah.
that was also like great for me, very convenient.
Yeah.
Again, I didn't have to pay an arm and a leg for this kind of
Mhm.
like for this that ultimately I would have done through a procedure, you know?
Yes. Exactly. So, what would you tell women who are going through a similar situation like you were, who are they're not feeling their best. They've gone through this journey. They're discouraged. They don't know what to do. What would you say to them?
I would say don't give up. If this is what you really want, don't give up. Don't give up. It's up to it's up to you to make those decisions for yourself, for your body, and action, sorry,
Mhm.
or sorry. It's up to you to make sure to take ownership because your body is powerful. Um, and sometimes because of these experiences we have, we forget. We
Mhm.
forget how powerful and how strong we are. But we just have to keep going, you know. Um, Imagine your best friend or your sister is going through this, and it's your job to keep them going because that's what we would do. That's what I would do, right? To keep my best friend going, to keep
Mhm.
my sister going. Don't lose faith. So I kind of have to have that own pep talk with myself. But you know, it is possible. Everyone has a different journey. Everyone, you know, it might take longer for some, and some of our journeys are bumpier. Some of our journeys are scarier. But at the end of the day, there's something good that comes out of it. And just, you know, take care of yourself, take care of your body, put yourself first, um, and get rid of all that negativity. Like, be positive,
Yes.
you know?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much for sharing that because it's so important. A lot of us, especially women, we forget about us, and
Yeah.
we're there for our friends, we're there for our siblings, we're there for our family, but we forget about us. And I always tell women, when you start working with me, it's about you. I don't care about who's doing what, this other person. I want to know about you. Are you taking care of yourself? And women get taken back because they're like, oh my God, you push such an emphasis on me. I'm like, because you're not taking care of you. If those things are happening, if something is off balance, we need to bring you back to you. Like, stop giving the attention to the neighbor. Cuídate tú. Like, you have to take care of yourself. So it's so important. Last thing, can we see the tummy? Can we see the belly? We want to
Yeah,
see the baby.
hopefully I won't blur out. Sorry. I
No,
have
no,
it on
you're fine.
dresser. I'm a little sore.
Oh, see the baby, and you're having a girl, right? From what I
Yeah, it's a girl. Yeah,
saw.
I felt it. I felt all the hormones.
Oh, I felt it. That's so beautiful. Uh, Blessings to you. Blessings to your baby. I can't wait to hear on November 7th that you gave birth. And like we do with everyone, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you sharing your story. For the women that are out there who, need our support, who want to continue the conversation, please leave your comments below on this video, and we can chat with you. We can try to guide you. We can try to see how we can best help you. And of course, I'm gonna send you a gift. I sent a gift to everyone, so we're gonna put some goodies there for you, so you can have some self-care and with in mind of your postpartum, your recovery plan, because I know how important that is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, absolutely. So important. I mean, it's like that oxygen mask and on the airplanes,
Yes,
you got to put your oxygen mask on first before you can, help, your kid next to you. Like,
yeah,
yeah, it's that serious because if I faint, then they're gonna,
it's true, it's true. Well, thank you so much for being here. Thank you
Thank
for your
you.
time. I appreciate you. I'll see you later.